Hey YouTube, React Pact here. I'm Max.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And this is My Hero Academia, episode 15. So, last time we had endeavors, getting around, trying to work with these students. They were still training each other. I know there's been a bit of a gap since last week. There was a music festival that delayed things.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember stuff and I can't.
And Endeavor got that message from Hawks.
Oh, that's right.
They were fighting that big glass magic future guy.
Yeah.
And we were theorizing that perhaps the target wasn't Endeavor, like it seemed, maybe it was Hawks. Because the whole plan that they were doing is Endeavor was going through the alleyway and they pulled the ropes. Like, that was never going to stop Endeavor, but if it was Hawks, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what are you guys looking forward to this episode, if anything?
More, more work study.
Yeah, because we also saw the three of them go to the agency and there were like so many sidekicks there. Oh, did I say the wrong one? There were so many sidekicks there and
100.
Yeah, and they said they got like no. They said they got over 100
There was
cases every day.
Yes, there's
30
like 30. There's
sidekicks.
Yeah,
30 sidekicks, yeah. So Kachan was like, well, then give me something to do. But they had to wait for Endeavor, who's currently preoccupied. So we'll see if they get any work study. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Endeavor's, what's his first steps in dealing with this, if he can do anything. And I want to see how the kids handle their day on real duty. Yeah?
Not for me.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for being here. Guys, if you like the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you just want to support us or you want to see some of the other shows ahead, check out Patreon in the description. And also, from now on, we will occasionally have some extra bits that don't make it through the final cuts. And we leave those little discussions that we had after we stopped recording. And we put them up as after talks for all patrons, including the $1 tier. So that's a little something to look forward to if you're looking for that. So see you guys in the discussion. Oh, it is a liberation.
Uh-oh.
That's true. What? He's here.
Oh. There's what's her name?
Yeah.
And Dabby.
And Debbie.
And Ninja Turtle.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I guess that's when he gave the book to...
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's scary.
全国にあるという潜伏地点そして協力しているヒーロー全員を明らかにして奴らを一網打尽にする
Yeah, some heroes are helping.
見えない敵を取り逃がしてしまうしシボックスにすでに敵の輪郭を掴んでいて秘密裏に動いているつまり今回のインターンはその備え
Wow. Yeah.
Well, that is what they said, that the government was pushing for them to do things faster because they think something's going to happen.
Did he say leave the students as insurance if they fail?
Yeah.
He's mumbling again.
Evil eye.
Show me.
He's gonna...
Here we go.
There they are. They're just used to this by now, but Bakugo's face is probably... Yep. 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 I'm not even reading what he's saying anymore. I'm just looking at this, too.
難儀な個性を抱えたな君もこちら側の人間だったか何ができねえ俺は知りに来た
Is that he just keeps doing
た
that?
だ強えだけじゃ本当の強えやつにはなれねえってことも知ったナンバーワンを超えるために足りねえもん見つけに来た俺がお前を利用しに来た
Oh wow.
都合よくて悪いなナンバーワン友達の前でああいう親子面はやめてくれ
Look at his poor eyes.
Hurting
ヒーローとしてすごいやつだ
Yeah, that's what he said
お
before.
前がお母さんにしてきたことまだ許 せてね。
Oh yeah.
Basically, he's here because you're
親父とし
the
て
hero.
これからどうなっていくのか見たい。
Well, thanks for making it awkward, bruh. Todoroki needs to learn time and place.
Never.
Just once. Oh boy.
That's a tall order. Why are you even doing crime in Endeavor's jurisdiction?
Right?
あれほどの熱量まで持っていくサブと、それをコントロールする繊細さ。俺のバカのパクリだ。ついたに今気づいたに。ああ、全く遠回りをした。
Another one.
他は任せて。
Dash.
授業の場ではない。間に合わなければ落ちるのは成績じゃない。人の命だ。
Wow.
How did you get the call for that?
Right?
When-
I think he literally just saw it.
yeah.
ショート、バクゴ、貴様ら二人には同じ課題を与える。力の凝縮だ。最大出力を瞬時に引き出すこと。力のゼロで放
His
出。
face.
まずはどちらか一つを無意識で行えるようになるまで反復しろ。カッタ、ベイビーショットと同じがあるな。なんでヨーヨー知ってんの？
Because he knows everything.
ショートはどちらも途上。まずは点での放出だ。一旦忘れろ。
でも並列に考えるんじゃ。
そもそも誰しもが日常的に並列に物事を処理している。無意識化でな。車を運転しているあの男。奴も初めから運転できたわけじゃない。まずは無意識化で2つのことをやれるよ。それが終わればまた1つ増やしていく。どれほど強く激しい力であろうと、礎となるのは地道な積み重ねだ。例外がいる。
Exceptions.
しかしそうでないものは積み重ねるしかない。さらに安心して失敗しろ。貴様ら3人ごときの正義、このエンデバーの仕事に何ら影響することはない。そう進んでいくんだ。
Discussion?
Discussion.
All right. So, a training episode, another build-up episode. So, what do you guys think of that?
It's a cool lull episode, and we got to see basically everybody stated their intentions of what they want to accomplish during
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
training.
Well,
Training
groundwork.
arc. Yeah.
So, yeah, especially the clarification, the big one being Todoroki not really seeing Endeavor as a father still.
Yeah, not even trying towards that direction. He's just using him.
Yeah, he admires Endeavor, not... What is his real name?
Oh, we've heard it.
We've heard it, I just can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But, yeah, I mean, it's fair that he hadn't forgiven him. And to be honest, at the time, I was like, oh, wow, what a big step for Todoroki to, like, start moving towards accepting his dad.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not what happened.
No.
So, yeah, he clarified, no, I still hate you.
Yeah.
Basically.
I kind of didn't expect that because of what I thought. Well, I guess it makes sense now that I think of it, because there was nothing that there was no turning point in Todoroki's, like, the display of anything Todoroki did before to say that, oh yeah, I'm gonna look at my father differently. It really was just, I want to learn this power and let me take advantage of my father.
Yeah.
So I guess we still have to see that happen for Todoroki, where he sees. I mean, I guess a little bit of what we saw was like when Endeavor beat the Nomu, and he was hearing the people talk on the
TV.
the TV. That maybe was he was thinking some things, and then when Fukugami was like, we need to be at the match thing.
At the match.
Yeah, we need to be. We need to do well for our predecessors, right? Hawks for him and Endeavor. So he was thinking deeply about that too, but I don't think we got like a turnaround point for him.
No,
It was
probably Mama there.
okay. It was Brain. He was mostly, like he stated, he was mostly thinking of Endeavor as the hero Endeavor, not his father. When he was looking, when he said that, like, and the hero Endeavor is amazing, and then he was like, but you're still not my father. When at the dinner table thing, that scene, and he basically stated the same thing.
Yeah. So he obviously doesn't want his dad to die or anything like that, but yeah, it's a long way to go. But for the rest of them, Bakugo realized that it's something he needs more than just raw power.
Yeah.
So he is perhaps speaking of the determination to become a symbol, perhaps. Maybe he's realizing that he's not quite a symbol since he's just right now pretty much a murder machine.
Yeah.
What do you think that thing is that he's looking for?
I don't know. I just know he realized that around the other training tournament thing, the Class A versus Class B tournament, he realized that he on his own is not enough to power up enough to be the number one hero.
Well, the training thing, that literally came down to needing teamwork and working with others.
Yeah.
But I think what he was talking about there was, as an individual, he is missing something that All Might has. And I think I could be wrong, but I think it may be in the wording he uses. Whereas with, he is a hero, but with Deku, I want to save people. And Bakugo, it's always, I want to beat that person. I think it may literally just be his driving force isn't to be a hero in that regard. Maybe it's just because his driving force is to be, I want to be the best, and it's not, I want to be the best hero. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's something he does need, but I don't know if he actually recognizes that. Personally, I feel like what he's striving for is not a figurative thing. I think he literally wants, like, what do I need to do as a hero, like, physically. Yeah, I think he's looking for something to, like, better himself to become a better hero. Like, he knows he's not the best, and he wants to figure out what does he need to do to become the best.
I mean, they did talk about things physically to do in this episode with the compression of their power and being able to be able to sharply turn and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, and that's something that comes across as so basic, right? Where obviously the move itself is complex, but turn sharply on a dime like that, and that is going to need to be a focused. We need to figure out how to be able to do that. But in reality, you look at it, it's like, okay, what are you learning? I'm learning how to turn faster. You know? But it's actually extremely difficult, and it takes years of.
And if you could master it, it would probably give you skills in other areas.
Yeah, that would change the game for someone.
Yeah. Not only that, but it helps get to the action faster, like it never did. Yeah.
Level of control. Yeah. That doesn't stay in that area. You're much controlled throughout everything. Yeah. Especially for someone like Bakugo, who commenters have pointed out, he has to control his power to a varying degree so he doesn't kill people when he makes an explosion.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas Todoroki, we saw he's just starting to learn the control with his fire now, and he tried the propulsion thing, and he just kind of span out of control.
And something I just wanted to make mention of, I love that this show allows Deku to go into detail on his powers like that.
And they let him. Like, it's not like they cut him off, like sometimes they cut him off.
There's so many shows that talk percentages when they want to pretend like they're giving information, but then somebody goes off and does something that by their own measurement should not have been possible.
Yeah.
But no, it is very detailed, and it's laid out of why he's able to do this and how much it takes. Like, I use Air Force, but it requires me to use about 20%. I usually hover below 15, but I can go a little bit above it. So you know exactly how he's working and why he gets tired at certain points. And I'm not to say that doesn't mean that there can't be a mistake with the show, but that it's immersive. It helps you be able to understand and feel like this makes sense, and not just suspend your disbelief for the entire show.
Yeah, I can't believe you actually got some of that, because
I just didn't read it.
It was hard for me to read it while you were talking, but I was trying to follow it, and it was really hard to follow. But
I didn't catch all of it. I plan to go back and watch it.
Yeah, we'll figure out what he said, because it would be good to know, because I personally want to see his growth and understand his growth and know, okay, what's he capable of doing now? Did he level up to 28%? Oh my gosh, what can he do now?
I think he's around 23%.
23?
I think. from the way he talks about it, I feel that's around where he is.
Okay.
Maybe 28.
I just entirely didn't read it. I was just focused on Todoroki and Bakugo slowly panning out.
It's like Bakugo just rage teased out the entire time.
It's amazing that like even though Bakugo gets irritated and annoyed very easily, he's not like disrespectful. He doesn't interrupt people hardly ever. I mean, he'll shout at them after they're done talking.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, I can't think of a specific example, but I kind of feel like he must have interrupted people.
Oh yeah, he definitely has, but he like for the
He's
the character that he is.
He's not as bad as you'd think he would be.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, he'll let you finish and then just tell you to shut up afterwards.
Speaking of Kachan, though, I know we kind of already said it, but we didn't say it, but I wanted to say it when we were talking about him before. His character, they've developed him so much more so far into the season, where before he was just this ball of energy, of mad rage, you know, but now we can kind of feel him.
Yeah.
I can feel his emotions, even though he's still like, oh, come on, Kachan, relax. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel where he's coming from, and I understand him more, so they're kind of coloring his character a lot more as we're going on. I feel like it's going to just keep happening because it's centering around these three. So I really appreciate that because, sometimes they just have tropey characters. This is just the mad one. Just let him be like that and you won't understand it. But they're developing him, so I really like that.
Do you have anything else written down? I don't want to just use up everything I have.
We have by spring.
Oh, yeah.
Hawk is trying to figure this out by spring.
Well, to be
trying to find
specific,
the
by
heroes.
the next time the cherry blossoms fall.
Yeah,
Right.
they get very specific with that.
I know
so-
the cherry blossoms come in spring, and knowing flowers, like when you think of our flowers on our tree, it doesn't last all spring. In fact, they're gone like a week after spring starts, maybe 2 weeks. So I'm thinking it's like mid-spring.
From what I think I know about cherry blossom season in Japan, cherry blossoms sprout in spring for a short amount of time.
Okay, makes sense.
I can just double check Google it, but
Yeah.
if
So-
we're wrong, I'll just cut this entire thing out.
Yeah, and he's trying to find out what heroes are in the association before he just like destroys this one location. He has to try and figure out what's the whole logistics of the operation.
We already got a little peek. The plastic chin guy, or whatever that guy was, he's with them.
Oh,
Guy,
yeah.
Remember the guy who seemed interesting, Mr. Plastic? Was
Yeah.
it Mr. Plastic?
I don't know. I don't think it was
Mr.
plastic.
Fantastic? Mr. Chin?
Chin, yeah,
Well,
Chin. The guy who
he was-
who reminded me of Chin from.
After they caught
He's
the,
in purple and he has the
Can't
chin.
remember.
After they caught the guy who was with the water, like stealing everybody's purses with the tsunami wave, he ran up and was like, "Wow, you kids are great."
Oh wait, the one that was berating him for going out and getting coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because he was there at the pillars. So he's with them.
Yeah, he's
Right.
with the Liberation Army. And there's also a guy who's on laptops and he's like, I'm watching your every fiber of your being.
I would have bet that was Night Eye till, just from how wiry he looked.
Yeah.
So they've got the League there. The League of Villains is there. So the Metal Liberation Army's got them with them in a branch at least. That guy said Destro-ness, so they are very much still hooked to Destro, who originally led the group. I want to know how much the League is intertwined with this. Like, is it just an alliance? Is it more than alliance? Is it like, no, this is our office area. Like, the city is under our jurisdiction, but we're a part of this greater group.
I feel like the League is more involved than being like a part of it because they're using Tomaru, is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Shigaraki, to do the destruction. Like the crazy girl who likes Deku was like, he's going to destroy everything, and he would only do it if he's benefiting him. We know that about him and his group, unless he's always been in this group and being an under.
Well, that's just
underling.
it. We don't clearly know his end goal. Like,
True.
we know that he wants to get rid of All Might. He wants to destroy the symbol of peace. But beyond that, like, once he gets his power, if he did, what does he want? You want to become the next All for One? Because that kind of would go with being with the Metal Liberation Army. Because All for One had his finger in every pie, and everything kind of fed back to him, and he was just all powerful. So that would kind of work if he is actually generally pushing this group.
I mean, that would make sense too, because we know from the movie. Can we talk about the movie?
Yeah, sure.
We know from the movie that he
If you haven't seen
has-
Heroes Rising, spoilers.
Yeah, from Heroes Rising.
Wait, hold still? There's something on your face.
Oh, this is my
that's
hair.
okay.
It's attached.
Oops.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. From Heroes Rising, oh no, not even from Heroes Rising. From
Last
the last episode where he destroyed Deku or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we suspect that he may have gotten the powers that 9 had. So he
You mean
probably
Tomura?
has 9 from the
No, you
Heroes.
mean you're talking about Tomura now?
Yeah, Shigaraki got the powers that 9 had.
Yeah.
Which means he probably has All for One's power to take powers.
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah, so it would make sense that he's trying to be the new All for One.
Maybe it's one of the hands.
The hands?
You know, the hands that he has.
Maybe that's how he takes powers. He just has the hands.
I don't know if it necessarily Nine's powers, but because
No, I
Nine,
mean-
they said the movie's not canon, but like
Oh.
9 is in the manga, but
Mhm.
they said that the movie's events aren't necessarily canon
Oh, okay.
because the movie was essentially
Like a what if.
It was an alternate what if the show's potential ending, and they turned it into a movie because he
Right.
figured he could make a better ending.
Right.
So
Okay.
so that storyline wasn't necessarily supposed to happen for our story.
Mm.
But I think the methods that were used are probably what was happened. Like what they did to 9 probably happened to Tomura.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably gave him all the abilities now. Because remember, All for One was holding on to all these abilities because he wanted to one day give them to Tomura. I think maybe that has happened.
Mm.
And now that he has these abilities, one of those is ability to destroy things.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah. Just a little thing I wanted to make note of. The Public Safety Heroes Commission, the guys who run kind of over the heroes, it seems like they're all run by humans.
Oh yeah.
Because
You
we-
mean quirkless?
the quirkless humans. But yeah, because metahumans, base humans.
Because they're dressed normally.
Yeah, just because everyone who has a quirk, they make it very obvious they've got a quirk.
Yeah.
And if they don't make it very obvious that they've got a quirk, they show them using their abilities so we know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe the Public Safety Commission is made up of people who have to have no quirk or something. I don't have anything to back that. I'm just wondering because we've seen 2 people from them and they both looked exceedingly normal.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
wondered about
It's possible. I mean, it could just be that they're just dressed in, suits and ties.
Yeah.
And just to be like working in an office, but
that. Yeah.
Mm.
I want to learn more about Hawk's backgrounds, which we're probably going to later in the season.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And
And
last...
Oh,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say another thing is the kids have to be trained hard, and this is why I think you said it in the reaction. They were pushing to get them to do work studies because they know this is coming.
Yeah.
Is that the Public Safety Commission? That,
The government.
They put in the request.
right, to get them to work. So
But
we
the
know.
government's request is...
Request.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, you got to do it. So that just means that, as our intro showed, our heroes are going to have to be fighting some really hard battles. And,
They're essentially been giving them boot camp for war.
yeah.
That's been going on.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, if you put yourself in the Safety Commission's shoes, you just learned that there's a Meta Liberation Army, so essentially a superhuman revolt.
Full of heroes, mind you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
learned that the heroes who are essentially replacing your super police force throughout the entire country, a lot of them are with this group.
Mm.
What can you do?
Yeah.
The only people that you can probably trust are the people being trained. So,
Yeah, most likely they're not involved.
most likely.
Yeah, because they did clear them already. They're like, we kind of vetted our students. It doesn't seem like any of them were the mold that they were looking for.
And it'd be much easier to vet students who are just coming out of nowhere. Everything they do, you can easily keep an eye on, versus heroes who are out and about, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had one more thing?
And at the very end, when Endeavor was talking to them, he was basically like, learn one thing at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Get it down pat, and then you can start parallel processing.
An interesting strategy.
Yeah.
I've heard of
It makes
stuff
sense.
like that. Do you think it's more effective than everything at once? Because
Oh,
there
yeah.
are some people who argue that if you've got to do something that's complex, learning it all and like steadily growing with all of them is effective versus doing one at a time, because then you don't learn to do them all at the same time.
I don't know. I feel like a mix is good. You learn one, and then you learn to do a second one with the one.
Mm-hmm.
When you get those 2 down, you learn to do the third one with the 2. I think that's a good method, but I've never heard of like doing all of them at once.
Well,
That would be
well, I mean-
extremely
Well,
frustrating.
I mean, that is what you do when you learn to drive, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When you learn to drive, you're learning to do them all at once.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. But
But-
you're just going slowly.
Yeah, I don't know if one's more effective. I'm just wondering, like, is it actually? Because when you have to learn to drive, if you learned how to do the driving and stopping brakes,
and then
like,
it would make sense.
And then you have to do them all together. I feel like that would be more of a shock than if you had learned them all together.
True.
But I don't know. I just was wondering.
I think it's just like the learning what you're learning and probably the person.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it depends on what you're trying to learn because
Yeah.
learning to drive is not those steps, you can't break those down. Like
You
It's
can't.
mandatory. You have to do it
yeah,
together.
they have to be done together. But like for these guys learning their powers, it's easy to separate them.
Yeah, for this it's like learning to pat your head and rub your stomach at the same
Yeah.
time. Like you have to learn them together, you know? Like otherwise it's worthless to do one.
Yeah,
do
yeah,
them
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there's more to it. But yeah, anything else?
Yeah. Deku is gonna just forget about learning Black Whip for now.
Oh yeah. Forget about the secondary power.
Yeah.
Figure out
Yeah.
Whiplash. What was
Black Whip.
That makes sense.
No, his
Oh, Air Force.
Air Force. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because honestly, he wasn't making huge amount of progress as is, and the amount of power it requires him to take. He already essentially established that he needs to have more mastery of All for One because it requires him to use way more.
Yeah.
So it was the same conclusion, except he's got reinforcement from Endeavor that's what he needs to do.
I just feel a little bit anxious in case another quirk manifests before he gets a chance to learn Black Whip.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that happens though, because he's probably gonna be so focused on making sure to do the one.
I know, but we don't know what triggers them. He
That's
just
true.
accidentally triggered Black Whip. He didn't try. So you never know, I think.
Yeah, because I think what triggered Black Whip was he was just wasn't he like trying to stop something or grab something?
No, he was trying to capture Mono, but he also got angry at the same time. So his emotions
he
triggered
angrily
it.
captured and he said,
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't know what he could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it now.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you guys very much for being here. Guys, if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And check out Patreon in the description if you just want to support us, or if you heard about those things I said in the beginning with the after talks that occasionally go up, which are for anybody. So thank you very much for being here. See you guys next time on React Fact. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
Special thanks to Lai, White, Robin, Diego, Alicia, Alex, Alda de la Rosa, Damien, Dercholfin, Kay, and John.